remember, shout out to my Patreon. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys. So make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. Alright, we're going to be getting started here very shortly. Please do not forget to hit that like button as you enter. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know that you're here. Say, hey, don't be rude. When you come into somebody's house, you got to speak, honey. Getting started in less than 2 minutes. Please take this time to share the video if you care. Don't forget to order your custom B Stokes styling merch. That's right, we have merch. Just click the link down below in the description box and order your B Stokes styling merch today. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about love and marriage Huntsville, y'all. This is season 3, episode 12 of the season. I want to say thank y'all so much for joining me tonight on this live. If you are watching live, make sure you check down in the chat box because I have a poll that I want you all to participate in, as well as the link to the live. So if you want to come in and voice your opinion on tonight's episode, feel free to come on in and tell me what you think about tonight's episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm probably going to drop a few polls down in the comment section in the chat box. So y'all make sure that y'all are looking out in the chat box, you guys, because there'll be a lot of stuff going on over there, okay? I'm taking this moment before we get started to share because remember, sharing is caring. I appreciate every share that you all do because that brings more people to the channel, and you know we are out here trying to grow and trying to flourish, okay? So now that all the housekeeping and stuff is done, You got to get all the housekeeping done before you go into the review. You got to let folks know about everything. Let me make sure. Let me think. I don't believe that I seen anything in the blogs or on social media this week as pertains to the show. I think Marceau did do some type of response, but I didn't watch it, so I can't speak on his response. Yeah. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the review. The episode starts off. So y'all know that we have been in Vegas for the past 3-4 episodes at this point. So we are finally seeing them leaving Vegas. Everybody's packing up, getting ready to go. The men are out there cooking up the last little bit of food. When you go to an Airbnb, honey, you got to buy your food. You want to eat up all your food before you leave. We see Kimmy going into the room to check on Tisha, because y'all remember last week at the end of the episode, we had Marceau come, like, I don't want to say come clean, but he came out to say that he feels like he might be a little bit depressed. So Kimmy went in to talk to Tisha, and she says that she was surprised by Marceau's kind of revelation last week. And she was also surprised that he didn't do the vow renewal. And so she just wanted to check on Tisha to make sure that she was okay. Tisha said that she was all right, but she was surprised, just like everybody else was surprised, that Marceau was depressed. And I said this last week in my review. That is a big issue. Number one, because for someone to be depressed, number one, there is 9 times out of 10 going to be a shift in their behavior. And as a spouse, most times you would notice that. You get what I'm saying? So it tells me how disconnected they are in their marriage to begin with, that she was unaware that he was even battling any kind of feelings of depression to begin with. Also, it's troublesome that he feels okay to confide in this group setting about his feelings, but he hasn't even talked to his wife about it. That has a lot of bigger issues, if you ask me, but we'll get into that a little bit further down in the episode. Hey, thick girl, thank you for joining. But yeah, so Tisha said she didn't know he was depressed. But she just knew that something was wrong, and that's why she was suggesting therapy. And while that may have been one of the reasons why Tisha was suggesting therapy, that was not the only reason why Tisha was suggesting therapy. Tisha is unhappy in this marriage as well. They have a lot of issues that they are just not willing to talk to each other and really work through. And that is why therapy was needed. But with Marceau, it's just not going to happen, which is really, really sad. And so Kimmy says, and I found this interesting. Y'all drop down in the chat and tell me what you think about this thought. But Kimmy says that she just knows that there are going to have to be some compromises that you're going to have when you're married to the Scotts. And when she was saying that, we all know that the Scott brothers tend to have these kind of I don't want to say barbaric or outdated. Let's say outdated. They have these type of outdated ideologies when it comes to marriage and how men and women should act in the household. It seems that Marceau has it a bit more than Maurice does. This also could be because Maurice is on his second marriage, so he realized that he's gonna have to kind of wiggle a little bit more with some of those archaic ideologies. But I found it interesting that Kimmy said that when you're married to a Scott, sometimes you're gonna have to compromise. Now, when I first heard her say this, I'm not gonna lie, it triggered me. I was like, like, what you trying to say? You know what I'm saying? But then as I thought about it, I had to take myself out of being like, okay, because you'll sit up here and you judge these reality show couples and relationships, and we tend to judge them way harsher than we even actually handle our own relationships, if we gonna be completely honest about it. And so when I had to stop and think about it, I'm like, well, I got me a Parker man. That's what I got, me a Parker man. And there are some things about the man that I have and the family that my my husband has come from that I've had to compromise on. And that is just me being a, submissive wife. And I know a lot of times people don't want to say, oh, submissive wife, and none of that is such a hot topic and things like that. But there has to be some level of submission from both partners in order for the marriage or a relationship to work. So when I thought about it in that context, I was like, okay, I ain't gonna give Kimmy too much. I ain't gonna give Kimmy too much. But it definitely, it at first hearing it, it was like, because I don't, for me, I don't think that I could compromise with this Scott man, but that's why I'm not with a Scott man. That's why I'm with a Parker man. You get what I'm saying? That's just how that goes. But Kimmy and Tisha seem to be on the same page, and Kimmy says it's just like their relationship is just like a marriage. They can't let outside people and opinions get in between their sisterhood, and so they seem to be on a better page. And Tisha always wants to call somebody a sister. Now, Tisha's not her only child, but the way that she always wants to, like, okay, sister, all right, sis, and stuff like that, it gives off only child energy. I don't know if she was the only, maybe she was the only girl. I know she has a brother, but maybe she was the only girl, and so she really wanted a sister, and so that's why she clings so much like she does. But at this point, they seem to be in a decent relationship. Thick girl says, yeah, Kimmy said that because she does it all the time in order to be with Marceau. I completely agree. Answering the poll question, hell no, Martell doesn't deserve the kids, and he only wants the kids so his broke A can get some child support instead. Lord, here you come in. Wait, where is it at? You know how when you come in, I got to have my finger on the trigger. Where is it at? Where my sign at? Oh, there you go. um okay, let's see where we at. So then the next scene we get is Tiffany talking to Louis. We're not gonna stay on here long. Basically, Tiffany lets Louis know that Destiny pulled her to the side at the chapel the night before and said that she wants to work on their friendship. They agree that they're going to have like a little one-on-one to try to figure out if they are friends or not, or how they can be friends, I guess, or whatever. I think that this friendship is futile. That's just me saying it. I think that this friendship is futile. I don't know. But at the same time, you never know, because Destiny didn't like Kimmy at first. And now they are good girlfriends who dang near having, threesomes. So so you never know what will happen in this friend group. Next, we see the guys out having their steaks, because I told y'all they got to finish eating up all this food before they go leave this Airbnb. And first thing I'm gonna say before I forget is I liked Marceau's sweater, his little sweater that said black on it. That's really good merch. Like, that's really good merch. It had like it looked like it was a nice thick good material. It had these little zippers on the collar, and then like in these raised type letters it said black. Did y'all see that? That was a nice little sweater, Marceau. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, so the guys are out there and they are being transparent about their feelings. And I thought this was a really good scene for multiple reasons. Number one, we often do not see Black men on television being vulnerable and honest about their feelings. And I thought that this was refreshing to see. And number two, I thought that they were talking about things that sometimes, again, we just do not see. So it started off with Martell saying that, admitting that is a possibility that he could be a little depressed as well after hearing what Marceau had to say, and evaluating his life and how things have been going. And I've been saying this since last season. If you've been watching my reviews, I've been saying Martell is unraveling, and he's headed to rock bottom, or I think he's already at this point in the show. I think he's already hit rock bottom. I think he is just trying to come up a little bit. He's trying to claw his way back up to where he used to be. But so it starts off, like I said, talking about Martell. And then Marceau says that Marceau gives his opinions again about how he being vulnerable, about how he may have been a little bit depressed and he's stressed, but it's just about working and he's just used to working. And Maurice says that they feel like, that it feels like because he's such a high achiever that it's all work and no play. And so they really needed this time to step away and to have some just like fun time. He said, because as an entrepreneur, you're constantly thinking about your family, you're thinking about the families of your employees, and you're just trying to achieve your goals, but not thinking about the next step. And that is actually very, very true. I thought, like I said, I thought this was a really good conversation and could open up deeper conversation when it comes to we at this point in the Black community, we have a lot of Black excellence, which is wonderful, but we also have to understand the work-life balance, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But we also have to understand work-life balance and how sometimes we can be so set on the end goal that we're not appreciating the journey, or we can appreciate the journey, or we get burnt out in the journey. And that essentially is just that's not healthy or beneficial for you in any kind of way. You're going to look up, it's going to be 20 years later, and you're going to be unhappy with your life and depressed, even though you have all of the worldly things that you thought that you needed in order to be happy. You get what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I enjoyed this vulnerability in this scene. And you can tell that these three will, of course, Maurice and Marceau are close, they're brothers, but you can tell that they actually have a genuine friendship and camaraderie. And so I really enjoyed this scene. Before we move on to the next scene, which is Melody and Tiffany meeting, because I ain't gonna stay on that scene long, because y'all know I don't see it for Tiffany. If you're in here, please don't forget to like the video. You know what I'm saying? Like it, like the video. Yes, all right. And all right, so Tiffany comes over to meet with Melody. Melody's packing up merch. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Right, Elmore. Notice Louis was nowhere to be seen because he's not a friend. He's not in this friend group, okay? And after he done ran back and told Tiffany what was said, he ain't gonna be in this friend group. They not gonna trust him. They not gonna trust him. And you know what? I'm gonna say this too about Louis. I don't dislike Louis as much as I dislike Tiffany. I saw that later on in the episode when he met up with Martell. I don't dislike him as much as I dislike Tiffany, but he's not going to fit in with these men. Yeah. Yeah, he's dead, right. He's put at the kiddie table. Exactly. You on timeout. You're gonna have to earn your way back. And I don't know if they gonna make it back another season in order for him to earn his trust back with these men. Okay. Okay, so Tiffany goes over to meet with Mel. She's packing up merchandise. She has her God Said Go merch. And Melody says that she just kind of had to take a moment to herself. She know that she asked Tiffany originally. She reached out to Tiffany so that she could get some interns to help with her business, but she just needed a moment. Let's see what else happened between them, y'all. Y'all drop down in the comments because I didn't take notes on this scene. For some reason, Tiffany on the screen, I just checked out. I believe they talked about Destiny most likely and how they're going to try to move forward in their friendship. Okay. I think I'm done talking about this scene. Moving on. Look, I didn't write it. I was watching it, but I was also scrolling on TikTok at the same time at this point. I was like, I don't care what Tiffany had to say. I tell you what I did notice. Why does Tiffany always look like she's going to Sunday school? Why? Tiffany looks country. Okay. Moving on. Martell and Louis meet up. Okay. So Martell takes Martell Jr. over to meet with Louis because Louis got a little gym and he, I guess, trains kids to play softball, baseball, or whatever. So he goes over there under the guise of let's get Martell into some sports. Martell Jr. Okay, great. And then after they kind of do their little scene with him, let him pitch, let him hit, they step off to the side so that we can have this real conversation, okay? And Martell says that, well, Louis says that the trip got a little bit heated, what was going on with that. Martell says, his biggest issue is that the kids know the song. And I said this before, I don't necessarily I can understand why that could be aggravating with him, but also the kids are gonna know way more than just this song. Y'all realize that y'all are playing all of this out on the social medias for your kids to one day be able to see. And so them knowing the song is like the bottom of where the problems are going to start when it comes to the children, as far as I'm concerned. And so he says, we got triggers, and she knows. And then another thing, real quick. I'm sorry, this just popped in my head, but then another thing. You think that the song is the biggest issue? We see how you and Melody blow up at each other all the time. You think your children haven't been privy to that? You think your children haven't seen that, haven't heard that? Just last season, when Melody came over to drop the kids off or pick them up or something like that, they was in the scene. They walked out, and next thing you know, it's a full-on thing. Melody dang near hit you. You think your kids didn't hear that? Which one is more traumatizing? Hearing mommy and daddy yelling at each other downstairs, or listening to a song with a little beat to it? But okay, I'm sorry. Focus on this scene. So Martell goes on. Sometimes let me focus. So Martell goes on to complain about how, him and Melody just can't get along. They have each other's triggers. She knows what to do. She knows what to do to piss him off. Da da da. And Louis gives very sound advice. And this is when I realized, okay, maybe I don't dislike Louis as much as I dislike Tiffany. Because he said, not every comment requires a response. And then he suggested to Martell to get anger management. Now, this is, again, another time in which we've heard Martell needs to get anger management. Of course, just last episode, Melody was the one saying that she suggested anger management to Martell before. And now Louis is saying that what he saw in Vegas, how irate Martell got twice in Vegas, he could benefit from some anger management, and he definitely could. Counseling, counseling, okay, counseling. Martell says no. He says he doesn't need anger management. He thinks he has his anger under control. Clearly, that is untrue. The fact that it took them men to be holding on to you and all of this stuff in Vegas suggests right there that you don't know how to manage your anger. Anger management doesn't always have to come after you done beat somebody bloody. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we can be a little proactive in our therapy. That's all I'm saying. But Louis was trying to be sound and try to give him sound advice. Louis is new here. He's a little bit, again, he's not in the group yet. And he also doesn't have the same mindset as these men do. So that's why I don't think he's ever going to make it completely into this group. And they're not going to take any of his suggestions seriously. So then after Louis suggests this anger management, and Martell says he don't need no anger management. They just need, you know what? I just need to get full custody of the children, because at the end of the day, I feel like Melody leaves the children with babysitters too much, and I just don't want any and everybody raising my kids. And so maybe I need to go after full custody. And Louis is sitting there like, what you think Mel gonna say about that? Now, Louis don't really know Mel from a can of paint, but anybody with common sense and two eyes already know that Martell saying anything about full custody of them kids is gonna get Mel hot. Martell, old ignorant self, gonna say, well, I think maybe she'll be down for it. I think, she might be okay with it. Who are you trying to fool, Martell? Who you? And it's like things like this is what makes me want to go in on him. And I really be trying my best not to, because tell me, okay, I have no problem. I have no problem with a father wanting to spend time with his children. I have no problem with the father wanting joint custody of his children. I have no problem with that. But it's not coming from an authentic place. It's not coming from an authentic place. You're sitting up here talking about how well you're downing her, basically. You're downing her, talking about the things that she does that pisses you off, and then in the next breath you try to justify why you want to go for full custody. The reason why you want to go for full custody is because you want to get back at her for pissing you off. Now, I don't disagree that, you don't want any and everybody raising your kids. And if you have the opportunity to have your kids instead of your kids being with a babysitter, I'm not disagreeing with that point. But it does not seem like it's coming from a genuine place. Okay? It don't seem like it's coming from a genuine place. Y'all drop down in the comments and tell me. I still have the poll up. Should Martell go for full custody? I still got the poll up. We got a few votes in there. If you have not voted, please do so. Also, if you haven't liked the video, please do so as well. So yeah, Louis say that he don't think that's gonna go over well. Martell says, well, he gonna bring it up. They gonna meet about it, and we gonna see about it. Let me see what y'all are saying in his comments. Elmore suggests the kids have been paying attention to the whole saga. They know everything. They know everything that's going on. And see, kids are not as oblivious and ignorant to things as we like to believe that they are. They're just not. Mel DeSosa says, Mel on her high horse. Tiffany is the perfect friend. They're the same person. And you know what? I really do believe that Mel and Destiny are actual friends in real life, and Mel and Tiffany are just like friends for the show. But I just don't like how she's been introduced and how it seems like Mel is like caping for her. I don't like that. I hope for him he doesn't get in. I wouldn't want my husband near the 3M. He doesn't get into what? That is also how they know the song is about Martell, and that too aggravates me when Melody be like, "The kids don't even know the song is about you, Martell." Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Now, let's not be dense, Melody. Let's not act like we don't, like the kids don't know exactly. Maybe Boss Baby don't know that the song is about Daddy, but guarantee you, Martell Jr. and the Bit Baby Girl, they know who the song is about. They know exactly what the song is about. It's not about life. You know what I'm saying? Let's not play on our intelligence, and let's not play on your children's intelligence, because from what we've seen, these seem to be very smart, well-adjusted children. They know. Okay. So then we get the Scotts going out on a date. Before we get into the Scotts going out on the date, I have to give a shout out to our sponsors, aka our Patreons. Remember, shout out to my Patreons. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year, because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys, so make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. All right, so then we have the Scotts out for a date night. You have Maurice and Kimmy, and Tisha and Marceau. Tisha came in there, her titties was tittying, weren't they? I'm sorry, that was my first thought. I said, okay, Tisha, got the girls out for date night. You better. They say that Tisha come in there looking like Miss Wanda, honey. Miss Wanda's a nice looking woman. That's a compliment. Marceau say, honey, he don't want to wake up and roll over and see Miss Wanda. That's the last thing he want to do. I guess, it is what it is. You know what they say? You marry your mother-in-law, so you better look at her to see where your wife gonna end up. So anyway, they go in there. They go for the date night. Now they say that this is a kind of two-part date night. Yeah, they want to see everybody, and they want to be on good pages, but they really want to check on Marceau because they find it troublesome that Marceau said that he is going through some depression. So they kind of want to check in on him. And so they talk about it. They say, Marceau, you said you're depressed. What's going on? How things going? How you feeling this way? And Marceau basically says that he's been feeling stressed. He doesn't feel like he has enough time in the day to get the things accomplished that he needs to get accomplished. He has a lot of projects going on. Excuse me, y'all. He has a lot of projects going on, and so it's just very stressful, and he's not sure if it is depression, but he just knows that something's off. And so they ask him, well, what are you going to do about it? Possibly some counseling. And Marceau says, you know what, I don't want to do anything about it right now. We're just going to ride it out and see. And Marceau does what a lot of Black men do, and it is work yourself into an early grave. I get on my father about this all the time. I'm like, Daddy, you are too old to be working as hard as you're working and not focusing on a proper work-life balance. And for some reason, we just feel like we have to be the work mules out here to get things done. And that's just not what it is. Now, Marceau says that, it could just be this project. He's been feeling this way for about a year, but, he's been on this project for about a year. And maybe once the project is over, then he can see the finish line. And until then, he'll just deal with the stress. And while he's saying it and trying to make it come off as if it's an admirable quality, it's really not. It's really toxic. It's detrimental. It's detrimental to your health. It's detrimental to your family, and it's detrimental to just the overall mindset of work. Do y'all realize that the wealthiest people in this world do not work nearly as much as we do? Think about that. We have been conditioned to believe that in order for us to be successful, we have to sacrifice all of our family time. We have to sacrifice all of our free time in order to grind and work. And I sleep when I'm dead, and this type of mindset. Meanwhile, you have the wealthiest people, the billionaires, the multi-millionaires out here who realize, honey, my time is more important than this. I'm going to invest my time a little bit more wisely. And so, Marceau, first things first, if you have this many projects going on that you're not feeling able to balance them, maybe not have as many projects going on. Y'all are out here trying to build Scott Manor. Y'all, you have a construction company. You done opened up this cigar bar that y'all ain't never read. You out here with this champagne and trying to push this champagne. That's a lot. That's a lot to juggle. So and then just in the same sense that Marceau feels like he's doing a lot, now Tisha's probably over here feeling like, and not probably, she's expressed, Tisha's over here feeling like she's handling everything on the home front by herself. There is no proper work-life balance. And so, as he was talking, all I'm thinking is these are just things that lead to early death. And Tisha, Marceau makes an analogy, because Marceau is good for a doggone analogy, honey. If Marceau ain't gonna do nothing else, he gonna throw an analogy up in this piece. And he says it's like me saying that my knee hurts, and then all of a sudden now y'all are scheduling a surgery. And he's like, wait a minute, let me just see if it'll heal itself. That is not the mindset. That's not the mindset for physical pain or emotional pain, people. That's not the mindset. Pain is an indicator that something is wrong. Pain does not just heal itself. That is not how it works. Once you get to the level of pain or discontent, then that is a problem. Those are indicators that there is a problem. Therefore, you need to pinpoint the problem in order to fix it. Problems just don't fix themselves. We need to get out of that mindset, both physically and emotionally. Like I said, I've made this very clear on my channel before about me fighting depression. And when I started therapy and talking to my therapist, he was like, you know what? First things first, you need to acknowledge that you've taken a step that a lot of people don't do. People may acknowledge that they're going through some depression, but instead of just acknowledging it, you've actually taken the step to seek help to work through it. That's the biggest step in itself. Marceau sees that he's depressed. He acknowledges it. You don't just throw out, "Oh, I'm depressed," and you don't really mean it. You are depressed. But if you aren't going to change that, you're going to remain in that. Um the projects, the stress of work, those are all contributing factors to it. But once those things move on and then you pick up the next project, or you pick up the next business venture, or you pick up, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to continue to pile onto it, and you're not fixing the problem, you're masking the problem. And so Tisha, when he says this, Tisha talks about this is what happened with her auntie, and apparently I'm assuming she had some type of breast cancer, and she swept things up under the rug to her detriment till she ended up in an early grave. And so this really is hurting and affecting Tisha. You can see that, and I think part of it is hearing it. Part of it is him feeling this way, of course, is what affects Tisha and makes her feel away. But the other part of it is hearing it for the first time in front of people. Think like it's so troublesome to me. It's so troublesome to me that this man is having all of these feelings, and whether he's willing to work on them or not, the fact that the only time that she is privy to his actual feelings is when they're in a group of friends or family. That's the first time she hears it. That alone tells you that there's issue in the marriage. And I'm not saying that that means they're going to get divorced or anything like that, but that alone tells you that there's issue in the marriage. That alone tells you that there's a bigger problem that they're not trying to fix. It's really troublesome. And I think Tisha is aware and Marceau is willfully obtuse and oblivious. What do y'all think? Drop down in the comments and tell me what you think. And so then one more thing that I found interesting, and then I'm gonna read y'all's comments, is that before the scene ended, Maurice offered to go to therapy with Marceau, and Marceau turned it down. Um, I found that interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, we all are acknowledging that Marceau needs therapy. Elephant in the room. Marceau needs therapy. We all are acknowledging that. Tisha has already tried. He turned it down. Maurice, realizing that his brother is a oinker who does not know how to express his feelings to his wife, and who's clearly more vulnerable with his brother than with anyone else, Maurice is offering to go to therapy with him as well, which came from a good place, but also spoke a lot to the dynamic of where Marceau's mindset is when it comes to receiving help. He feels more comfortable to receive help from his brother than his wife. You get what I'm saying? Or that's how Maurice perceives it. And then Marceau saying no. I honestly would have been more upset if Marceau said yes to going to therapy with Maurice. I'm not going to lie. So slick, although I do want Marceau to go to therapy, had Marceau agreed to go to therapy with Maurice, I would have been pissed off. Like, I would have been pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I really would have been. But it's clear at the end of the day that Marceau needs some therapy. He needs some help. He's not going to be able to do this on his own. Let's see what y'all are saying in the comments. Yes, honey, she was tittying. Okay. Marceau doesn't want to wake stabbed in the neck by all that spritz in her damn ear. No, I don't think Tisha will ever be as bad as Miss Wanda now. I don't think she could ever get there. She'll just look like her. She'll just favor her. Marceau is a successful, arrogant idiot. Excuse me. Lord. Y'all, this doggone acid reflux from this baby. Marceau's a successful, arrogant idiot. All right. Elmore says chocolate in a bottle, not champagne, but sparkling wine. Right. Because it can't be champagne. But whatever. Has anybody tried it? Have y'all tried it? I really want to know how it tastes. I really do want to know. When he cut poor little Tisha off and said, oh, when you can listen more, I would have stabbed him in the neck with a butter knife. I didn't even talk about that. Yeah, so Tisha asked, well, what can I do? What can I do to help? And he says, you can listen more. Tisha shrinks herself for this relationship and has been shrinking herself for this relationship. She admits that the relationship has gotten harder in the past 3 years, which is ironic because that's when they start the show and when she decided to kind of be more of an outgoing person. That's when the issues really began to happen in their marriage that we've seen or that she's acknowledged. But Tisha shrinks herself in this relationship all the time. Marceau will overtalk her and run metaphors over her head all the time. So when he told her that she could listen more, I was like, you imbecile. What? Now what now? And then also when Kimmy was like, well, maybe sometimes it's the spouse that adds to it. I didn't agree with that either. I agree that that statement may be true. I don't agree that that statement applied in this situation. So I don't think it needed to be said in this conversation. Because they got Jay right. Well, I'm just saying I'm gonna add the cigar bar even though they over there stressed. Jalen probably over there just doggone depressed dealing with them and their foolishness. But yes. Elmore says right. He cut her off before she finished speaking. He totally dismisses every essence of her. He shrinks her. He shrinks her. Literally. Like her spirit, you could just see it shrink. And it's aggravating that Kimmy is able to speak to him. Maurice is able to speak to him. Melody is able to speak to him. Martell is able to speak to him, but his wife is not. It's troublesome. I swear I blame finding a fish called Wanda J. Blige for Tisha's lack of self-love, backbone, and her being too scared to leave because this relationship is unhealthy and toxic AF. It's you know, Wanda J. Blige has a she has her issues in it, but this has been their makeup. They've been married for 15 years. Well, this has been their makeup for 10 plus. And this show is starting to really show the cracks and now allowing Tisha to have that backbone. And now that's why it's not working. I don't be wanting to wish that on people. I just feel like if things don't change, Tisha would have to be the one to initiate that because Marceau was good with the status quo. He's not going to go anywhere. He's made that very clear. But I do believe that if there was to be a separation of this marriage, then it would have to be because of Tisha. To be honest with you, since my aunt ordered a bottle in late July, she never got it. Oh man, it's October. It is October. Now I know that they were pre-ordering or pre-selling some of the bottles, but like I don't understand how long a pre-sale works. I was gonna try to support the little business or whatever because I'm all here for black alcohol companies. I drink alcohol anyway. I mean, I'm all here for black alcohol companies. But shoot, I guess by the time if I order it now, by the time I would get it, I'd drop this baby and be good in postpartum. That's a shame. Okay, let's see. The girl says he doesn't care because he's not the one who feels alone in the marriage. Maybe it's because they got married only after 6 months of dating, so they didn't really get to know if they were actually compatible. And you know what? I can't even say that he doesn't feel alone in the marriage either, because they are, it seems like they're operating separate. It seems like they're operating separately anyway. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to not feel alone in a marriage, you have to be able to confide in your spouse. And he doesn't confide in her. And she gets no response when she confides in him. So maybe they both feel alone in the marriage. So they did just start shipping them out. Why does Tisha get madder at Kimmy than she did at her disrespectful husband? Because it's easier. It's easier to get mad at someone outside of your household than someone inside of your household. It's easier to deflect. It's easier to make everybody else the problem. You know what I'm saying? That's why. I'll be glad when she shows her backbone, because it hasn't been shown yet. I really think that's just how Tisha is. Tisha, to me, comes off as a passive aggressive, non-confrontational person. And that's just how some people are. Some people just some people just are. Some people just eat it. Some people just eat their feelings. And then eventually it all blows up and comes out. And I feel like she that kind of made sense as to why, when she gets upset with her friend groups like Kimmy or Mel or whatever, why she kind of goes in a little bit harder, because you're taking all that frustration that you're taking from home and you're taking it all out on your friends. But I don't think that she's ever going to. Well, I'm not gonna say that she's ever going to get a backbone with Marceau, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Um. All right, so then we get on to our last scene, which is Mel and Martell meeting up. I ain't take a whole bunch of notes because it's the same song and dance that we see with Mel and Martell every doggone time. Every time. I'm so sick of this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with Mel and Martell. I just don't know what to do. Okay. Y'all gonna sit up here. Melody come in. Hello, Martell. How? Melody. Melody, you want something to, eat or drink? Did you order? I'm fasting. Oh, okay, you fasting from everything. You don't even want no water. Okay. All right. Well, Martell, you done called me here. So what you want to talk about? Okay. Well, Melody. I'm like, oh, here we go. Martell says that, you know what, Mel, I think that we push each other's buttons intentionally, and this is causing an issue. This is this is part of the reason why things kind of went as left as they did in Vegas. Miss, I disagree. I disagree, Martell. Clearly, we don't know each other's buttons, because why would we continue to push them? Why would you continue? Melody, bull, bull. Y'all know each other's buttons. Y'all push each other's buttons intentionally every freaking chance you get, because y'all are petty together. Y'all are petty together. Y'all have been petty together. Y'all revel in that type ofness. See, normally when y'all was together on Team Hope together, y'all can be petty with other people and it's cute and it's good. Y'all do it together. You're not gonna sit up here and tell me that y'all was married for 14 years and y'all don't know each other's buttons and y'all know each other's triggers. But the reason why y'all get so heated and mad and instant is because y'all be stepping and tap dancing on each other's triggers. It ain't like, Melody, come on. Okay, anyway. All right. So they began to get into the into an argument. I just put the argument gets heated, because they began to get into an argument. Of course, she starts throwing, he started, why you getting loud? Well, you be disrespecting me in public. Well, Martell, you always disrespect me in public. I ain't saying nothing. If you would have kept your pain in the house, then we wouldn't have the issues that we have now. It's the same song and dance that we always get when you get them two together. And you know what? Okay, so they get into they back and forth. You know how they do. So then Martell goes, you know what? Before we even get hot, let me try to redirect this conversation. I want to talk to you about the children. That's what I called you for. I want to talk to you about the children. You should have started off with the children, Martell, if that's what you want to talk about. Don't even give it a chance to get heated. Don't even give it a chance to get heated. Just if you want to talk about the kids, talk about the kids. As a matter of fact, this particular issue, to be honest with you, because y'all are not at a place in which y'all could co-parent successfully, this conversation should have been had with one or two people in presence. Either one, y'all's co-parenting therapist, she should have been present for this conversation, or two, your lawyers. Y'all shouldn't, I'm sorry. Y'all two shouldn't have sat down to have this conversation. This conversation was not going to be productive regardless, because y'all don't know how to have a productive adult conversation at this point. There was at no point that this conversation was going to go right. At no point was this conversation going to go right. Okay? Yeah, hold on. My nephew calling me real quick. Hold on, y'all. Quick little commercial. Remember, shout out to my Patreon. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm going to be trying to do some special things for y'all in this new year, because y'all have definitely been riding with me. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's very simple. All you have to do is go to www.patreon.com/bstokestyling and make your pledge. $5, $10, or $25. Currently, I'm trying to get to 20 Patreons, you guys, so make sure you help me reach my goal by clicking the link down in my description box and joining my Patreon. You do not want to miss out on the early access to my videos. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. So what was I saying? I had to run downstairs real quick, y'all. I'm pregnant. I'm fat. Okay. So yeah, this conversation about the children and Martell wanting to have full custody. Okay, so he says, well, Melody, I just want to talk to you about the kids because I feel like I don't want 10 babysitters raising my children. And I would just rather them be with me. And you see me run. Yeah, my nephew, he's fine. He actually just stopped by. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. What's going on? It's almost midnight. I gotta check on my baby. He's good. He's good. But yeah, so Martell say he don't want babysitters raising his kids, and the kid, he's been told that they have 10 babysitters and they always with other people. Melody says, Martell, that's not true. I have 2 babysitters for the kids. He said, well, just the other week, they was with 3 people in one day. Melody says, well, one of them people was your cousin because you didn't pick them up on time. And so that she's not a babysitter. So I don't understand. So then he goes to pull out the phone because I guess he got a receipt. So now they trying to sit up here and tick for tat who had the kids on what day and why they had the kids. And Melody explaining how she had engagements in Atlanta, so the kids stayed with her mama for a little while, then they stayed with the brother for a little while, and it was all of this back and forth about. All right. I can't even because I was highly upset. I was highly upset by this conversation. And I agreed with Melody that he was only bringing this up for control. Highly upset. Number one, like I said, Martell, I do not disagree with you that I don't want a whole bunch of different people raising my children, being influences in my children's life. And I do agree with you, Martell, that If Melody had to go out of town, you should be the first person she should feel comfortable calling, no matter what. Hey, Martell, I got to go speak in Atlanta. I'm gonna be gone for a day. Can I drop the kids off tonight? I'll come pick them up. I think ideally that is how it should work. I completely agree. The way that this was brought up and the manner that it was brought up is not going to not going to get any kind of resolve. It's not. Again, this conversation, if this is truly how you felt, this conversation should have been had with one or two people in attendance, the lawyer or the therapist, the co-parenting therapist, because it does not seem like it's coming from a place of genuine concern. It's coming from a place of trying to belittle Melody as a mother, to try to make her seem, and he says that, oh, Melody's a good mother, but it's trying to make it seem like she is prioritizing other endeavors over her children, and he's not. And we've seen, if you've been on the internet like I've been on these internet streets, y'all know I be on these internet streets. So if you've been on these internet streets like I've been on these internet streets, you've seen that there have been many times where Melody has complained about Martell not even getting the kids when he's supposed to get the kids. So that could also contribute to the fact that I don't feel like you're gonna be reliable enough for me to get the kids with you. And then why is it that when you get mad and upset and things like that with people, the first thing that you want to do is jump to full custody? Isn't there like a big difference between like joint custody and full custody? Shouldn't like why can't conversations just why is the well, I think I should get full custody. How about the conversation be, Melody, listen, I don't want the kids to have to always be at babysitters, and I know that you're busy. So how about you give me first dibs at getting them before you give them to whomever the babysitters are? How about that? Can we agree on that? But see, because y'all know each other's triggers that you claim, that Melody claims y'all don't know, but because y'all do know each other's triggers and you do know how to get up under each other's skin, that's kind of conversation, that kind of level-headedness, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Let me see what y'all are saying. So I'm looking in the poll. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. This is if you want to vote, this is your last chance. Vote in the poll. I think everybody that's in here has voted. Y'all, please don't forget to like the video. Should Martell go for full custody? According to the poll, a whopping 95% said no, he should not. 95%, because it's stupid. It's stupid. Martell try to bring up, well, I get the girl's hair done, and let's not do a tit for tat on what parent does what for the children and who does more. Now, y'all are both in your children's lives being good parents. Let's not do this. Let's not be petty like this. How about just say, I would prefer, instead of them being, and I agree, because I don't believe in a whole bunch of babysitters. I get it. I don't want them, or cousins, uncles, aunties, or not. I don't want them always with a whole bunch of babysitters. But Martell is not bringing that up from a genuine place. And we can see that it's not from a genuine place. And you know how we know it's not from a genuine place? Because before you even bring up this legitimate concern, you bring up every other issue you got first. You bring up every other problem you have first. If this was your main issue, if this was your concern, when Melody came in and sat down and said, hey, Martell, you said you want to talk, what you want to talk about? That would have been the first thing you talked about. Well, Melody, I brought you here because I really want to talk about the children. I want to make sure that I have more time with them when you got things. That would have been the conversation. It wouldn't have been Vegas. It wouldn't have been who disrespect or triggers. It wouldn't have been none of that. You show your slip every time, Martell. Every time. You sit up here and you try to play these childish games. And at the end of the day, you're so concerned about what the children are exposed to and how they gonna feel about you. And then, but then you do stuff like this. That combo wouldn't have went right for me either. Don't play with about taking my kids ever playing with my parents, and unless you want to be 6 feet under. I mean, there was no way that this conversation in that tone, there was no way that this conversation was going to go well. There was no way. And I understand that they are in a contentious place still. I understand that. But if you really want something, if you truly want something, if this was truly about your children, you could swallow your pride in order to get your way. Y'all get what I'm saying? Let me explain. If I know that I want the best for my children, if I know that I want the best for my children, okay, and my whole purpose is wanting the best for my children, I am going to be as nice as I can be so that I can get my way in this conversation. I'm going to start off, even if it burns my potato to do it, I'm going to start off with like a compliment, like, Mel, I see you out here, man. You doing your thing. You doing your thing. I see you. You got speaking engagements. You got concerts. You doing your thing. And I know that's a lot with the kids and trying to travel and stuff with the kids. And I commend you for doing the best you can, while you have. But I'm here. I'm a parent too. I would like to help. Don't you think? What's the saying? You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar? Hello. Talk to me, somebody. Martell really needs to stop questioning the children about Mel's whereabouts when he gets kids. And that too, thank you, thick girl. And that too bothers me because, and again, you keep talking about what the children are exposed to, but then when the kids come around you, you try to get a full report. Well, I bet he'd be probably sitting there interrogating them doggone kids. Well, who was mama with? Well, where did mama go? Well, what was she doing? Well, who all were there? Well, how long was y'all with your grandma? What your grandma said? I've been a divorced child. I know the game. I know what be going on. Leave them kids alone. Stop questioning them. Oh, yes, the rest of the season look good. Now, I don't know. Are they doing like a half season, like a split season? Because the way that the trailer went, I was confused as if like they're gonna continue with the season or if it's gonna, how they like to do the half seasons. Because we're already on episode 12. So I don't know how many episodes we're gonna get this season, but it sure do look good. I'm here for it. I'm gonna be sipping slow. I'm gonna be here for every piece of it. Let me see. Right, he wants Melody. We know that. We know that. He never wanted to get a divorce. He wanted his cake and wanted to eat it too. We already know. Also, we found out that when Mel said Martell wasn't contributing, she didn't lie because he agreed when she said it tonight, which is true. When she went to talking about all the stuff she bought in the schools and stuff like that, and he said, "Well, I ain't have it then, but I got it now." Again, um, I'm not even. And right, it seems to be family, and that's fine. And again, I'm also a very paranoid person, so I just don't believe in like bringing children around, even family. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like a whole lot. So I completely can understand where it's from. I also trust Melody's discernment and who she's leaving her children around. I also believe that it ain't. I guarantee you, it was never an issue before they got divorced to leave the kids with their mama, or to leave the kids with uncle, whatever uncle's name is. I'm sure it was never an issue before, but now because Martell wants to manipulate the situation, now it is. And she got four children. If you can, how many people are really going to volunteer to watch 4 children? Seriously. Come on. Seriously. How about his cousin getting them because he couldn't get them on time, but that babysitter was okay? It's all petty. Y'all see, Y'all peeped that he wanted him to cut out when he said he was happy to see her in Vegas. We know Martell want her. We know Martell want her. We know it. It ain't no surprise. And this is why this is why the contentiousness of their situation is going to continue to happen, because he wants her and she's moving on. And so now he's gonna try to play any game he can to keep her, because you know what, even a mean nasty reaction is better than no reaction at all. And that's just really how he be. Let me see. He gonna have to add an extra zero on that check for that other baby over there. Yeah, I don't think Mel will leave her kids with anyone unfit to watch. No. I don't believe she would at all. But that's it, y'all. This was a good episode. This season still has quite a bit. We gonna, of course, get into more Mel and Martell. Oh, I did not do a standalone video on Melody on the Ooh Ladies First channel, so I'm just going to give my thoughts really quickly about the interview that she did with them last Saturday. Good interview. I enjoyed. I'm glad that they asked some questions that, some real questions that we really be wanting to know. Overall, though, all her answers seem to be pretty consistent with all the other interviews that I've seen of Melody, because I told her I'll be in the street, so I'll be watching all the interviews and stuff. She's working on her music and her endeavors and her real estate. Her and Destiny are really good friends. So outside of this TV stuff, she actually sees Destiny on a regular basis, even though she doesn't see the other friends. She did not want to speak on Marceau and Tisha's relationship. You can tell that they have, agreed to just not speak on it. I think Melody does know a little bit more about Marceau than she is going to say anymore, because Tisha does not want to hear it. The only thing that Melody said in that interview that made my antennas go, and I didn't necessarily like, was they asked her if let's say she had a party for the children, a birthday party for the children, if she would invite the additional child. And she says no, she don't see that ever happening. There's no reason for her to ever invite them, that she ain't got to be around that child. And that if Martell wants to have a party for his child, for his children, and then invite that child, then he could do that. I didn't necessarily agree with that. I feel like the child is innocent in the situation, and the child is also your children's sibling. I understand, and let her tell it. They still don't know about this child, so it could be premature to talk about now, but let's just say, the youngest baby is not even 2 years old yet, so between Mel and Martell. So let's just say 10 years from now she has a birthday party. I think it's unfair for that baby to not be invited. Now, you ain't got to invite Coleslaw. Coleslaw ain't got to bring the child. Martell could drop the child off, but that's still your children's sibling. So I did not agree with that. I think that I hope that possibly in the future that could change, and maybe that's just where she is right now. Things are still, pretty fresh and things like that. But I didn't like that. Other than that, it was a good interview. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say about Melody and that in that situation. If y'all have any more thoughts, drop them down in the chat right now. If not, I am finna get on up out of here. Let's see. Martell wants child support. Martell got to get them ducats from somewhere, honey, because he ain't got no builder's license. Okay. He, Melody was the brains of the operation, it seems. Hello. You still haven't watched it. I caught the end. I wanted them to ask her, what does Tiffany have on her, because she stays capping for her. And she claims that she just wanted that she just wanted her to be good into the group or something. She explained it. It wasn't nothing she just explained whatever. She likes Tiffany because she feels like Tiffany's going to bring it. And she feels like Tiffany is going to bring more to the show because she feels like her and Martell bring a lot to the show. And so Tiffany's going to be able to actually give in a way that Disney doesn't give. Beauty Business Essential says, if I was male, Coleslaw's kid isn't coming around mine. That's just not fair. I disagree with that. That's just not fair to me. I feel like the children are innocent. Coleslaw wouldn't come around me. I wouldn't want Coleslaw around my kids. But you know, the children are innocent, and that is their sibling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't think that's fair. I don't. It was a fair and honest statement. She's not there yet, so I understand her feeling that way now. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's a feeling now, but I think that is really harsh to say for 18 years, like for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Right now, things are still fresh and hot. You got to resolve the issues with your baby daddy. I get it. So I get the sentiment right now, but I just hope that, in the future, I pray in the future that won't be how she still feels about it, because that's unfair to the children. They still, regardless, they still should be able to be around their sibling. What if they 13 and like, Mom, I want whatever the child's name is to come to the party. You gonna tell the baby no? I don't know. 10 years from now, she's still in negative space. I'm going to need Vermeil to get over it. Well, I don't think I think Martell would be in a negative space before she would, okay? Martell would be the one. Beauty Business Essential says, if my kids ask, fine, but not on my own recourse. Okay. I can understand it. I can understand you. I can understand your point. But that's it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining. If you are new here and you're just coming across my channel, please make sure that you subscribe with notification bell on. I give you beauty content and commentary. I drop videos all the doggone time. I think I got like doggone 40 videos this month at this point. So y'all make sure you come back. Tomorrow is Real Housewives of Potomac. I have playlists for that right now. We are doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Real Housewives of Potomac, Marriage Boot Camp Hip Hop Edition just started back. So I dropped that video earlier today. And Ready to Love comes back next Friday, you guys. Oh, I cannot wait. I love Ready to Love. I got on here so late because I was watching the special where they were talking about the upcoming couples. So that's why the live was a little bit late today. So I'm excited. I'll be on for that. We also have my Tales from the Salon horror story videos. Those have been dropping weekly. We just dropped one Friday, so yesterday. Go run the numbers up on that as well. And I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, all of those good things. Peace.